Ever since I started covering crypto on this channel, two things have been happening. The first is I get bombarded with emails, messages to go ahead and shill a certain coin or token, or there's some new NFT project that was minted, and they typically offer me $5,000, $10,000 in their coin or token to go ahead and create shill videos about it, which likely in a few weeks they would rug pull anyways. There are a lot of scams running rampant out there. And honestly, if I was a grifter, if I was a thief, I wouldn't be running around breaking into cars and homes. I would just learn a little bit of programming. I would watch maybe 10 hours worth of YouTube video, instructionals. I would learn everything I could about crypto, and I would just put out NFT project after NFT project or some shill coins. And then also I would probably go and pitch it to some small time or medium-sized celeb management team to go ahead and get behind it as well, pump it up, get some publicity, get some influencers on board, rug pull the project, everyone gets paid. No one's regulating crypto these days. As long as you're not knucklehead, which some of these people are, and they just go ahead and say, oh, this is a great investment, or they talk about it being a security or a vehicle to make some money. That's the way to really get massive lawsuits on your hands. Now, if you're smarter, like Tech Lead is, you'll simply put something out like Million Token, you'll go ahead, you'll talk it up, but you'll say, hey, this is just a social project, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Invest in it if you want to. It's not a security, all that jazz, right? That's the real way to do it to not get into too much trouble. But most of the time, these people go in and they just scam, rug pull, they do it all the wrong way, and it seems like no one's even going after him, which just sets the stage for the next person to come in and grift, the next charlatan who knows a little bit of coding to go ahead and make millions and take millions of dollars away from people that fall for these types of shams. And oftentimes, honestly, they're not stealing from the poor, they're taking money from trust fund babies and their friends that are just trying to boast some wealth and add a little bit of NFTs to their MetaMask or Trust wallet. So really quickly, if you're new to NFTs, what is an NFT? It's basically a piece of code. You're getting a snippet of a bit of code and you're having rights to that code. No one can change that code, but with that code is an attached digital file, typically a photo. If you're on Opensea and you know stuff like CryptoPunks or projects like Bored Ape Yacht Club, this is all just JPEGs hosted somewhere on a server. You don't get access to that. You just get access to the code that points to that image. But theoretically speaking, what happens if the web host or the domain provider, or let's say the server that it's sitting on, goes down? Well, likely you won't even be able to view it in your MetaMask. And so it's really, really shady how this stuff goes down. And a lot of these big projects, they do have serious teams that are handling, the upkeep of the server, the domain, all this jazz. But I'm just waiting to see what happens when one of these legitimate projects goof up or get hacked, and all of a sudden people are just sitting there with code and they can't even open up the image that they paid for. Because remember, you don't actually have access to the host, to the server. All you have is just a little bit of data that sits on the blockchain. Now, do I feel like there's utility for NFTs? Of course. And I think in the future, we're going to see a lot more. Now, there's a lot of licensing and royalties for music. I'm a photographer during the nighttime, videographer as well. I feel like there's going to be a lot of use cases for seeing who the original owner of certain art is. I think it's going to be used in real estate, maybe even stuff like colleges for textbooks, identification purposes, car titles. The DMV might set up like a blockchain system to prevent, again, scams and frauds. I think that a lot of politicians or maybe fundraisers, they will be able to raise money through crypto or through NFTs. We've been seeing that with Ukraine even. VR, AR, that is just starting to scratch the surface. We're talking virtual reality, augmented reality. Again, it's the second inning of this stuff. So I think there's going to be a lot of applications for NFT and blockchain technology. And by the way, even before I continue, because I ramble on sometimes, I said that two things started happening when I started covering crypto on this channel. So the first, again, was all of these shill scams coming my way, telling me they'll pay me to make videos about it, which I'll never do. That's my promise to you. And the second is that people ask me, Eddie, do you think that NFTs is really a good investment? Is there really any utility to it? And I don't just get asked that in the comment sections and messages. I get asked that in real life. Again, people see that I make videos in my normal day-to-day 3D life, and they ask me that. And my honest answer has changed over the past couple of months, because initially I was kind of into the hype and I said, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the next thing. Look at what Jay-Z is doing with Tidal. Look at how Square's getting in. Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, Gary Vee. I mean, all these guys that are brilliant. Mark Cuban, the NBA is having NFTs. And I'm like, yeah, I think this is the next thing. This is like the next way that people collect. And there's going to be showrooms, and maybe you could take some of these collectibles to the metaverse with you and all this jazz. But as months went on, I said, wait a second. It just started to feel like tulip mania. Like all this buzz, something was wrong about it. Jimmy Fallon, Paris Hilton. I mean, all these people, Snoop Dogg, they were getting into NFTs. They can't even spell non-fungible token, let alone explain to you what exactly the blockchain is and how they operate. And to me, it all started to feel a little bit scammy. And then shortly after, I dug into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? I looked into the Swamp Club. I covered it. I made a video on it. The video did well. You can check it out on my channel. And as I'm learning about it and keeping an eye on what's happening with CryptoPunks and how they were rivals to Bored Ape Yacht Club, and now they're not really rivals anymore because Larva Labs sold CryptoPunks IP to Bored Ape creator Yuga Labs, which also now owns Meebits. And just taking a look at it, I saw that a lot of these celebs that are pumping these Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and making them, their avatars on Twitter and Instagram and such. So again, one of the most lucrative projects out there in the NFT space is the Bored Apes Yacht Club. You can find them at boredapeyachtclub.com. And for those that don't know, Opensea is the premier NFT marketplace. It's where you can buy and sell a lot of the popular NFTs. And if you look into it, Opensea secured $100 million in Series B rounding at $1.5 billion valuation. This article is way back from July 20th, 2021. And you can also see here, it says NFT marketplace Opensea has raised $100 million in a Series B round, effectively making Opensea a unicorn or a startup with an over $1 billion total valuation. Participants in the round include talent and sports agency Creative Arts Agency, CAA. And this is the agency that, if you look into it, the talent, the brands that they work with, a lot of them you could tie back to the NFT project, such as Bored Ape Yacht Club and some of the other ones. Now, I found a post here. You can go and follow this URL. Again, this is all alleged stuff, so I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but they went ahead and they mapped out the connections between CAA and Opensea, and there are other articles, other videos out there that hint at this as well. But the more I looked into it, the more it looked like the agency CAA and the talent it represents has a lot to gain from pumping these NFT projects. Because remember, the more people that buy and sell on Opensea gets a lot in transaction fees, and you never know who's handing who what on the back end. Again, this is all alleged, but I've worked in the art space. I know how management teams work. None of these guys, Eminem, all these guys, allegedly, they're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these NFTs. They're getting a ton of loot on the back end for going ahead and promoting a project like this. Because remember, if they go ahead and they talk about Bored Ape Yacht Club to their following, they even post about it, tweet about it, this is a massive catalyst for the market of that specific NFT. Massive. Not only does it open up to all the influencers and followers that follow them, but also it opens it up to all of the trust fund babies, all the rich kids that want to be cool, that want to flaunt and boast their wealth. And they say, oh, you know that NFT project that Jimmy Fallon got into or Paris Hilton got into? Well, I own one of those as well. Take a look at it. Check out my MetaMask. Yada yada. And now the last thing before I wrap it up, check this out. If you go on
Fiverr.com. A lot of companies, they use it for some quick work. It's usually quick and cheap overseas work, right? And so if you go here, you will see that you can get a lot of this stuff done for cheap. Like, I will create custom NFT art. They have a 5-star rating, 37 people, starting at $100. I will do unique NFT art collection with 1K, 5K, 10K NFTs. 125 stars starts only at $240. So you see that a couple of $100 can go ahead and get you a bazillion amount of NFTs. 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, how many ever you want, right? And you see here, it's only a couple of $100. I can tell you that a website on Fiverr can be very, very quick work too. Again, I'm a web developer during the daytime business. I take it very seriously. I build out all the websites myself. I don't use these types of sites. But if you wanted a quick fix, you could go and get a website for a couple of $100, have someone build it out on Fiverr. You could get your NFTs built out on Fiverr as well. You only need very, very simple understanding of the NFT and crypto space, maybe a little bit of coding. You go ahead, launch the project, mint your NFTs, and then you hire one of these celebs. You go after a mid-tier celeb, top-tier celeb, lower level celeb, whatever you can based on the marketing budget you have, and you go ahead and you promise them, hey, I will give you a bunch of NFTs, or I will give you some money up front if you can just go ahead and promote this, right? Post about it on your Twitter, share it on Instagram, talk about it in an interview. And the bigger the project is, the more money these celebs are getting. And it's usually royalty deals. Maybe some are just one-time fees, but you can see how there's a plethora of scams on here. All these Nigerian scammers, they're not going and making phone calls anymore. They're in the NFT space. Everyone's trying to get theirs. And the thing is, you can't even get in trouble. This isn't like Jesse James times where he goes and stops a train, robs everyone on the train, leaves, and then he's like the number one most wanted person in the country. No, that's not how it works. With NFTs, with crypto, it's unregulated. So most of the time, unless you're a buffoon and you're shouting, this is a security, you'll definitely make money on this investment. If you just put it out there and promote it, but don't say and advertise it as a type of security or an investment vehicle, you can get away with it scotch-free. It's not even illegal, I would argue. So this is absolutely bananas. Speaking of Bored Apes, I think the NFT space in most of the NFT projects are absolute insanity, chaos, bananas. Do I feel like the technology is here to stay? I do. NFT technology, blockchain technology, super, super helpful, super innovative in many, many different industries. So that's my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Is Bored Apes Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, is all this jazz just a big, elaborate scam? Or is it something that tens of years from now, it's still going to be worth a ton of money? I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Do you own? Are you an investor in some of these projects? Are you laughing at the people that are spending hundreds of thousands on different types of NFT projects? I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next video.